What's up, Fragrant World? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. My name is Justin Copeland. On this channel, Stay Fresh Productions, we talk about everything dealing with fragrances. If you have an interest in fragrances, if you like fragrances, if you want to know more about fragrances, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the Fresh Squad today. It'll be the easiest thing you do all day. I promise you, by doing so, you will instantly increase, elevate, evolve, enhance, and improve your freshness. And your freshness is you bringing your best self into every situation, treating others with respect, understanding, and kindness, and carrying yourself with elegance and class. And we use fragrance as at least a starting place for that. You'll feel it, and others will smell it. All right, today we're doing a little bit of a practical topic. We're talking about fragrances for different age brackets. And this is mainly geared towards the men, from young to old, or from least experienced to most experienced, however you want to look at it. And we're doing it decade at a time, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. First thing to get out of the way is that this topic as a whole is not meant to be pigeonholing. It's not meant to bottleneck you into one particular path of fragrance based on where you are in life and how long you've been here on this earth. Wear what makes you comfortable, wear what makes you confident. Simple as that. Age doesn't really matter, but I know there are a lot of guys out there who are looking for some kind of guidance. They're not quite sure, like, well, I don't know what I like yet. Give me some options based on how old I am that I might like, or at least might put me in the direction of some other things I might like later on. So that's what this video is for. Just kind of a starting post to get started if you are looking for recommendations. But if you don't want to deal with any of the age stuff, and you already know you love fragrances and you know your taste, then hopefully there's just some stuff here for you to check out if you haven't checked some of this stuff out. Second thing I want to say about these fragrances, they're mainly intended to function as signature scents. You could wear them basically anytime, anywhere, all year round if you wanted to. We could go more in depth about certain occasions and the type of scent profiles, but we've done that so many times. I've done all kinds of videos talking about occasions and different life scenarios and the kinds of profiles that go with them. We're keeping it super surface level today, keeping it simple. So let's jump right in. First up, my teenagers. Got an easy to wear fragrance here, and my primary goals with this pick were it needs to be cheap. We're talking $20 or less. It needs to have a very appealing and very versatile scent profile, but also I wanted to give you something that is not completely like everything else out there in this realm. And one of my absolute favorites is Sean John 3 AM. I think this is a perfectly versatile scent. It's very likable, it's very pleasing. It has kind of a classy quality to it, but it's also a playful scent. Very fresh, invigorating, effervescent, kind of fizzy smelling. Has this kind of tonic water and citruses vibe, almost like a kind of a drink in a way, but not super alcoholic. A little bit of fig leaf in there, a little bit of leather. It is very, again, bright and inviting and just fun and easy to wear. It has the most ridiculous atomizer you've ever seen. Here it is in the B-roll. Look at that thing. It's a fire hose. It's incredible. Anyway, highly recommend this one. You can get this thing so cheap and it smells amazing. Got links down below for everything, but for my teenagers, that's what we got. Sean John 3 AM. Now, for all the other categories here, we're gonna have a designer and a niche pick. I didn't want to suggest a niche fragrance to a teenager because even getting a decan is not the most cost-effective thing to do at that age. But once you hit your 20s and on, you start making your own money more on a regular basis. You have some money to spend if you do want to check out some niche fragrances. But let's start with our designer for my guys in their 20s. Easy to wear, signature scent worthy. Wear it to the office, wear it to a date, doesn't matter, smells great. Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. This stuff, it just works. Takes that Dior Sauvage profile, makes it softer, creamier, smoother, and honestly just better quality overall if you're asking me. It's not quite so sharp and in your face like Dior Sauvage, which if you're not familiar is kind of this shower gel smelling fragrance. It's spicy, it's clean, it's fresh, aromatic, citrusy. This kind of has a metallic quality to it, but so rounded, so smooth, very clean smelling. And it's actually kind of sexy for a fresh scent. Definitely recommend this one for guys in their 20s. Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. If you got a little bit more money to burn, and I still recommend sampling this one if you can, along with all the niche fragrances I will be talking about. Bond number 9, Send a Piece for Him. This is actually pretty new to my collection. I overlooked it for a long time, ended up picking it up. It's not bad, and it's definitely functional if you want to be pleasing and pleasant to other people with your scent, but in a way that is perhaps a little bit more different, a little bit less generic than your run-of-the-mill designer fragrances. This, if you're not familiar, smells very similar to Creed Aventus. Some people seem to disagree with that. I don't get it. This is kind of like a playful blue version, not just because of the bottle of Creed Aventus. It is made even more simple, but still has some body, still packs a punch. It's not light or just fleeting in any way. It's fruity, so it's sweet, it's fresh, it's citrusy, it's woody. It's kind of all the things you want in a very all-around, very versatile, very likable scent that you could wear anywhere all the time. For my guys in their 20s, I do recommend checking out Centerpiece for him, especially if you've tried Aventus and you cannot quite afford that. On the discounters, you can usually find this for a decent price, but again, at the very least, get you a decant. Got links down below. For my guys in their 30s, our designer pick is the newest in terms of men's designer releases from Hermes. This is nice. This is called Age 24. When I first got this, I was disappointed because I was expecting something a little bit more iconic. The last designer release we had geared towards men from Hermes was the Terre d'Hermes DNA, which spawned its own little microcosm of many flankers that all smell great. And then we got this, and you cannot put this next to Terre d'Hermes. It does not carry a flame at all. It's not iconic, but it is a little different than the rest of the mass market world in terms of men's designer fragrances. It's fresh and metallic and green. You get a lot of Narcissus in here. Narcissus is a funny little floral note. It's not overly floral. It's actually kind of green and dry and rustic and almost tobacco-like, but it's made very clean here with some aroma chemicals representing, again, this metallic freshness. Definitely some citruses for sure, maybe a little bit of woodiness. Overall, green, woody, a little bit metallic, fresh. Doesn't really change much on the skin. It'll last, a good 6 to 8 hours, I'll say. Doesn't project like crazy, but it's a great little fresh presence to have. Again, you can wear this thing anywhere, and that's why I can easily recommend it to guys in their 30s who just want to smell fresh. Check it out. Got links down below to Age 24 from Hermes. And if you got a little bit more money to spend, I would not necessarily call this a higher quality scent for the money. If we're talking about niche, this is very much a simple profile. This could be inside of a designer bottle, but it is very well done. The performance is very good. The likability factor is through the roof, and it's just a simply beautiful fragrance in a beautiful bottle. From Parfum de Marly, we have Sedley. Mint, citruses, lavender, maybe a little bit of woods in here. I get this almost sugary vibe, like a crushed sugar. Not overly sweet, but I almost get that kind of texture to the scent. There is a bit of this crushed graininess to the scent, but it's mostly very, very fresh and fruity and sweet and just very uplifting. Again, super easy to wear. Again, if you got some money to blow and you want to get this full bottle, then you can, of course. It's not cheap, but at least get you a sample. Again, links down below. That is Sedley. Okay, men in their 40s, I have something a little bit more classic for you here. I don't want to pick something like Fahrenheit or, something like that. That's not necessary. But this is based on that, but modernized a bit. This is coming from Dior, and this is Eau Sauvage Parfum, based on the original Eau Sauvage, which did come out in 1966. But this is based on the original Parfum version, which came out 2012. They reformulated it in 2017 to make it even more modern, which some people didn't really like. It still carries the spirit of the original Parfum. This is a phenomenal fragrance. This does smell a little bit mature. It does smell a little vintage, but it does have a type of freshness to it that is easily wearable today. Citrus, vetiver, elemi resin. It has this very unusual sweetness that's not overtly sweet, not like vanilla or something succulent. It's more of like a balsamic resinous sweetness that's fresh and kind of green, and it's quite woody. It's just a refined fragrance. It has kind of like a citrus aromatic, kind of barbershop style feel to it, almost like a fougere, which just means it's a very classy scent, something to easily wear dressed up, but functions great as his signature. Even if you dress it down, it works fantastic. Smells wonderful. So guys in your 40s, don't be afraid of this one. Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum I highly recommend it. Even the 2017 version, it's still great. 2012, people swear by it, but this stuff is still good. And my niche pick, and this is an experience. This is called Ganymede. This is coming from Marc-Antoine Barrois. Oh my gosh, I love this stuff. This is so unique, but still completely likable and accessible. Perfect blend of those two elements, which I think makes for a great fragrance. It is quite fresh, similar to H24, more in this metallic, almost mineral-like way, but totally different profile from that. It has this interesting kind of dry, earthy quality from Immortelle, which is almost a little bit sweet, but in like this kind of curry / maple way. It's a very interesting component to the scent. You also have quite a bit of suede leather in here, making it kind of soft and leathery, but has a texture to it that has presence. This is intended to smell like Jupiter's largest moon, Ganymede, so it has that kind of cold, minerally metallic quality, like a celestial body up in space. But to me, this smells like the leather interior of a brand new luxury automobile. Smells phenomenal. That is Ganymede, highly recommended. Get you a sample if you can, but I do think, I don't often say this is a safe blind buy. If you're looking for something different, but still very wearable, check it out. And 50s plus, again, these lines are being drawn, but anyone can wear whatever you want as long as it makes you feel like you. But for my guys in their 50s, for a designer pick that can function as a signature scent, Tom Ford is a great way to go. Tom Ford caters to the gentleman, and Beau de Jour is one of those fragrances. This is kind of your classic aromatic fougere, kind of leaning in this barbershop direction. So very classy, has an aromatic nature, has lots of lavender, has spices, has a creamy warmth, and that's kind of sweet in there. All those elements come together, maybe a little bit of an herbaceous quality too. Very classic smelling, does smell a little bit old world. It does smell very similar to a fragrance from Davidoff from the 1980s called Zino, but this, to me, at least compared to current formulations of Zino, is a step up. This is a huge upgrade in terms of scent character and profile, in terms of performance and presence. This is way, way, way more elevated than Zino, so I do recommend this one even for the increased price. This is just a very present scent. You smell refined, you smell confident. It functions both formally and casually, easily recommended. That's Tom Ford Beau de Jour. And our final fragrance, this is kind of along the lines of Beau de Jour, to be honest, but this is a slightly different character to the barbershop fougere. Still very classy, still very refined. Dan from Mr. Smelly 1977 talks about this word dandy, like this dandified feel. I get what he means, and I feel like I get that here. There's this kind of, again, a classiness, but it's a light, a brevity to the scent. This is beautiful, and it's quite a unique take on the fougere. This is called Sartorial, coming from Penhaligon's. This takes that, again, barbershop style scent. It is aromatic, it is spicy, it is kind of creamy and sweet. There's a warmth in here as well, lots of lavender, but it uses this kind of metallic accord similar to something like we saw in Ganymede or in H24, which is intended to smell, I think, a little bit like a pressed shirt, like an iron pressed shirt, or smell like a tailor's shop. You get a little bit of that quality in here with some honey. So the sweetness in here is a very iconic kind of sweetness. It's not overly done, it doesn't smell edible, but it's a very different kind of sweetness than something like tonka bean or vanilla, which you might see in other fougeres, although those might still be in here, I'm not quite sure. But honey is what I mostly get with this kind of typical fougere vibe. Not overly strong, at least current bottles are not super strong. It's not gonna project like crazy, which makes it super classy, super easy to wear in just about any situation, and smells incredibly handsome and just pleasant. Definitely something that's gonna make people smile. Sartorial from Penhaligon's. Again, highly recommend sampling if you can, but if this sounds like something you like, then I will have a link down below where you can just splurge on a bottle. Check it out. All right, that's gonna do it for me. Those are some picks for guys in just about every age group, but again, broadly so. Take it with a grain of salt, wear what makes you confident. If you're 20 years old and something in the 50-year-old category sparks your interest, then check it out. Don't worry about the numbers. It's all just numbers. It's all about how you feel and how you project yourself when you spray something on. Anyway, if you liked the video, please like the video. I'd love to know what you think of these picks. If you like or hate any of these fragrances, that's what the comments are for. Let's talk about it. Please consider joining the Fresh Squad. Again, it's so easy. Hit that button and you increase your freshness by doing so. But nonetheless, thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.